Last time we were together, we read a story about some puppies. And before that, we read from this book about some kittens. And today, our story is about bunnies. That's how far we are. Some stories in chapter 3 about bunnies. So let's get started, shall we? Bunny's Snow Search. Brr, I'm frozen, said Heather, as the little bunnies made their way home. It is very cold, said Violet. Wait a minute, what's this on my nose? I can't quite see. I think it's called a snowflake, answered William. I've never seen snow before. The bunnies stared in amazement as the falling snow formed a white blanket over the ground. It feels so soft, said William. Let's have some fun, shouted Basil, and he began to roll and play in the snow. Look at this, cried Heather as she kicked up a spray of snow which covered William from his ears to his tail. A snow bunny, giggled Violet. The bunnies rolled around and around in the snow, laughing and giggling with delight. It was a very long time before they managed to stop. At last, the bunnies got their breath back. To their surprise, the snow was still falling fast. Will it last forever? Sighed Violet. I hope not, or we will never find our way home, grumbled Heather. The little bunnies looked around and saw that their path home had disappeared. What are we going to do? Said Violet. We shouldn't have stayed out so long. What's that noise? Cried Basil, staring upward. The other bunnies looked into the sky and saw their friends Marianne and Michael coming in to land. Hello, little bunnies, said the kind geese. Can we help you find your way home? Just follow us. With the help of their friends, the little bunnies reached the edge of their field. But as they pushed their little noses through the hedges, they saw a large stranger looming over them. Who's that in our field? Squeaked Violet. He looks frightening, wailed William. Don't worry, laughed Michael. I've met his type before. He's called a snowman, and he's not the tiniest bit scary. The bunnies soon got over their fear when they realized the stranger was only made of snow. As the bunnies hopped across the snowy grass toward their hutch, they noticed strange footprints leading to the open door. Who's that in our hutch? Said William. Good afternoon, called a small muffled voice. There was a rustle and a snuffle, and from under the pile of straw appeared the face of the bunny's old friend, Morris Mole. Just keeping the hutch warm for you, he explained. The tired little bunnies did not mind this in the least. Before long, they snuggled down too, and were soon feeling cozy and warm. They fell fast asleep and dreamt of softly falling snowflakes. This chapter is called Bunnies in Clover. One morning, the little bunnies were nibbling at the short green grass in their run in the field. But Basil had other things on his mind. He hopped toward the door of the run. That clover looks delicious, he said, twitching his little nose. It's a shame we can't reach it, he muttered as he leaned against the door. Snap! The door suddenly sprang open and out rolled Basil onto the garden path. The 3 other bunnies ran over at once and pushed their heads out through the open door. Are you all right, Basil? Asked Heather. Is it safe out there? Asked Violet. Don't be silly, laughed Basil. This is our chance to eat some yummy clover. The 4 little bunnies hopped one after the other across the field, their fluffy white tails bobbing up and down behind them. They couldn't wait to find some delicious clover. The bunnies soon found a thick patch of clover and had just settled down for a tasty feast when the earth beneath them started to quiver. Violet felt scared. "Help! What's happening?" she asked. "Is there going to be an earthquake?" The bunnies could see that dirt was flying in all directions and something was moving under the ground. The mound of dirt grew larger and moved more and more. Then out popped a little black snout, followed by two large paws, looking just like shovels. The bunnies all laughed when they saw their old friend Morris Mole climbing out from underneath the pile of dirt. "Good morning, bunnies, good morning," he said. Then he looked around him in surprise. "Oh dear, I think I have tunneled too far. I'd planned to come out on the edge of the woods." What are the woods?" asked William curiously. "Don't you know what the woods are?" asked Basil. "Why don't you all come with me?" said Morris, "and then I can show you the woods." "Is there lots of clover in the woods?" asked Basil. "I hope so. We all love clover." "You can find clover all over the woods," said Morris, "and I can take you to the special clearing I know where the tastiest clover of all grows." With Morris leading the way, the little bunnies hopped out of their field and into the woods. The bunnies spent the afternoon in the special clearing, filling their tummies with clover while Morris tunneled his way around them. "That was the best clover I've ever tasted," sighed Basil as they all fell into a happy sleep. This one is called Bunnies to the Rescue. The bunnies had spent the day playing in the woods. "Shouldn't we be going home by now?" Violet asked the other little bunnies as they played leapfrog. "Hurry up, it's starting to get dark," said William. Suddenly they heard a very loud noise. It stopped them in their tracks. "Hoo! Hoo! Hoo! Hoo!" What a spooky sound! The bunnies felt quite scared. A large black shadow flew over the bunnies, heading straight for a tall tree in front of them. Crash, bump, slither! The shadow collided with the tree, making the bunnies jump back in fright. "Look out!" cried Heather. "What was that?" A crumpled old owl slid down the tree trunk and landed in a heap at the little bunny's feet. "Oh, my head!" moaned the poor hurt owl. The little bunnies could see something was wrong. When they realized that the scary black shadow was only an owl, they stopped feeling afraid. "Are you all right?" asked Heather. "You hit the tree with a terrible bang." "Oh, I think so," said the owl, whose name was Horatio. "I'm getting used to bumping into things. I haven't been able to fly properly ever since this horrible string got caught around my wing." "Oh dear," said Violet sympathetically. "It must make it very difficult for you to get around." "I can help you with that," said William, and he started to nibble away at the tough string. He worked very hard, and after what seemed like a long time, his little sharp teeth finally cut the string. "Got it," he said. With a happy sigh, Horatio stretched out his wings as far as it would go. "That feels so much better," he hooted happily. "I must think of a good way to thank you all." "Could you show us the way out of the woods?" asked Violet. "We're lost." "I'd be delighted to help," answered Horatio. "I know these woods better than any other animal. Follow me," and he flew up into the air. Horatio's wing was now as good as new. The little bunnies had to run very fast to keep up with him. Soon they reached the edge of the woods. From the top of the hill, the little bunnies could see their field. Their cozy hutch was lit up by the bright moonlight, and it looked warm and inviting. "Thank you, Horatio," they called to their friend. "Come and visit me again soon," hooted Horatio, and he disappeared into the night sky with a sweeping wave of his wing. And that is the end of the bunny stories in this book.